Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining us live today. Happy Monday morning, awesome, brisk, cold Monday morning here in Utah. And just really excited to see what we get to learn today. I have had kind of an interesting experience over the weekend and even Thursday and Friday last week. I've, in my daily GPS, have been just really feeling that there are some lessons that I get to learn with the law of the harvest, with the seasons, with everything that God has set up. You know, when we plant a seed, that it grows and then we harvest it at the end of the season. And I'm taking a more active role. My husband's always been really good about, taking care of our garden. I will help him, but he's kind of the main person that takes care of that. And this year, I have felt that it's really important for me to take an active role in learning what I can, not just in gardening techniques, because I grew up on a farm, so I have a lot of really good basic knowledge of that. But mainly what I've felt really drawn to is the kind of the analogy of gardening and how God has set that up and how that works in my life in creating and manifesting. And I've learned a ton, just in the last few days, just being in that mindset of learning. And some of the things that were shared as we were doing our rounds of gratitude, as we were just kind of warming up to get ready to start the recording, tells me that a lot of you are kind of in that student mode as well, in a place of clarity and calmness, being just open and ready for next steps, enlightenment to come to you. And so I felt like that would be a really good focus for us today, is gratitude for being in student mode, gratitude for student mode, and to see what we get to learn. So I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds. And we're going to focus on gratitude for student mode and see what comes up. So just write down whatever comes to you, your own personal inspiration on gratitude for student mode for 90 seconds. Begin. Right. I am really grateful that when I admit that I don't know something, that the answers are there. And I've also noticed that before I'm in that student mode, when, if I am, like, I'm just going to share the example of, asking for new divine tutoring on this law of the harvest, that I've felt a lot of darkness and confusion. When I'm, as I've been stepping into this, and I know there's something big that I get to learn, and I have already learned some really awesome things, but I know I really see this as another mountain. Sometimes I'll feel like I'm at the pinnacle. It's like, oh my gosh, I just have learned so much, and how can it get any better than this? And then I look out and I realize that now that I'm up at the pinnacle on the top of the summit of the mountain, I can look out and I can see the next mountain range. It's like, oh, there's actually something else to learn. And starting kind of at square one and continuing on my journey. And that's kind of where I feel right now. And I know that there must be something really big at the pinnacle of this mountain, because I feel darkness and confusion quite often right now. And I'm so grateful that I know how to clear that I know that energy is not of God. And it's easy for me to do my permission process, just identify what those limiting beliefs are, and also to ask. I know that dark energy just kind of sneaks up on us and comes from behind, especially if there's something really big that we're in the process of doing or learning. But God and his angels and Jesus Christ's energy comes as soon as we ask. And darkness has no power over light. Light always has power over darkness. So super grateful that when I admit something that I don't know, the answers are there. And I'm also really grateful that when I feel darkness and confusion, I know that I can tell the difference between the energy, and that I have the power to invite light in, and darkness has to flee. Who else has something they'd like to share?
I just had just a really simple thought come, but I was thinking that it's truly a gift to desire to want to learn more. I'm just very grateful for that desire.
Beautiful. Thank you. Who else?
I was thinking about the law of attraction and how everything's there. Everything that, like, all the answers are always there. It's that we just can't see them. It's that we're not aware of them because of where we're focusing our mind. And so being in student mode, I think of, he had ears to hear, but he could not hear, and eyes to see, but he could not see. And I think of how many times I'm like that. But really, it's a matter of just tuning my ears and my eyes and my attention toward that new thing, so that evidences can be gathered. And that's what I was thinking about.
Awesome. And you're absolutely right. We gather the evidence of the things that we think, whatever we're really focused on. So, 5 people could read the same passage in scripture and they could get 5 different answers because they're looking for something specific, to them. And same thing, we see the evidence of what we expect. We attract to us exactly what we expect. Thank you. Who else?
I'll share.
Okay, thanks. Is that Melissa or Rachel? Go ahead.
I muted myself.
Okay, thanks, Rachel.
I had I saw myself in college again, sitting on the front row with the paper and pen in hand, taking notes. And for some reason, the thought, what are my motivations for learning, came to my mind. Is it to please the instructor? Is it to not let anyone down? Is it the anxiety of learning from a place of pressure to perform? Or is it a place of desire and authenticity that comes from within inside of me? So that was just my thoughts. And I thought of my son who has a lot of anxiety around learning and wanting to create a space, help him create a space of learning from the desire within himself, or however, I don't even have the words yet, but yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Awesome. Wow. Super powerful principle right there of being motivated by fear of what the instructor would say, fear of, what would happen if I don't pass, whatever. And then kind of skipping up to a much higher level to learn just based on desire and authenticity. And I'll just tell you, as far as like a business goes, when you get into student mode and start asking for instruction of how to run your business based on just the desire and authenticity to serve and serve in a way that is authentic to you, wow, you get totally different answers than when you're trying to run a business out of fear. Thank you. Who else?
I'll share.
Okay, Melissa.
So I thought back to college also, and I thought about how much joy I felt in college because everything was so new and I was studying a topic that I was very passionate about, and how different it felt after college when I had a job and then I had kids, and I really wasn't learning. I wasn't pushing myself for growth, and it was almost harmful to like my spirit because I wasn't growing, and it just made my life less exciting. And when I finally got to a place where I was ready to just dive in and start learning things I was passionate about again, my life just took off. And I think being a student, at least for me, is just the most fulfilling role that I can have. I mean, motherhood's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love learning, and I never want to stop being a student. And I also had a comment on your comment. I also have felt that darkness and that confusion around learning, and like I just don't know, and I'm so confused, and letting that kind of weigh me down. And then I've also learned how to come out of that, so I can identify with what you were saying as well.
Awesome. Thank you. I love what you're saying about applying our ability to learn and our desire to learn, and our, actually putting ourselves into this student mode actually builds the spirit too. We're told in the scriptures that, we can't take our material things with us, but we definitely can take our knowledge. We definitely take with us everything that we gain here on earth, the earthly experience that we're adding to what our spirit already knows. We get to take that with us to the next life. So it's important that we continue to enlarge our spirits, to magnify our spirits with learning that can only be achieved here on earth. And how awesome it is that we get to choose what we learn now. In college, they tell us, okay, you got to take this many general credits, and then if you're going to have this job when you get out, then you need to do these classes. And so we don't really have a lot of choice if we're trying to get a certain degree or whatever in what we study in college. But after college, or if we're just like our life lessons, our life school, we definitely get to choose. And when you're really clear on who you are and, why you're doing things, like Rachel was saying, the desire and the authenticity of your learning, if you're doing it to enlarge your spirit and to, gather more information that you want to take with you eternally, you have the freedom to choose what those lessons are. Thank you. Any last thoughts before we shift over to our permission process? I got to add mentors. That's been my preferred way of learning in the last 8 years. I feel like mentors is the fastest and most efficient way to learn.
I'll share really quick. One last thought. There, I found it in a book, but the thought is always make your learning greater than your experience.
Interesting. So like, take your lessons from your experience. Make sure that you take something with you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other thoughts before we shift over to our permission process? All right, let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And one more deep breath. And just take this opportunity to get yourself into student mode. So whether that means visualizing yourself sitting in a college class, or if it means sitting at the feet of Christ, if you envision yourself just poised with pencil in hand, whatever it is, whatever it looks like for you, to put yourself into student mode, just allow yourself to settle in. Maybe it's envisioning yourself sitting in a meditative garden, just surrounded by nature sounds and being open to learn. And if there is something that you have had questions about, something that you have maybe said, I don't know, something that you've been confused about, a decision that is before you that you have not known the answer to, not known what decision to make, whatever it is, just become aware right now, the one most important area of your life where you need to step into student mode, where you really don't have all the answers. Just invite you to become really aware of what that one area is. Just allow there to be one, the one most important one, the priority in this moment. And becoming aware of this particular area of your life, just allow yourself to be in student mode and just be taught right now in this moment, divinely tutored. If there is a question that you need to ask, or we know that God knows what the questions are, and just be open to receive the answers. Invite that light, source of light in, light and understanding. Just listening with the heart, mind, and soul. And with this new understanding that is starting to dawn, I invite you to be open and ready to hear any limiting beliefs that might be coming up about this particular area of your life and this new understanding that you're receiving. What is the limiting belief that would keep you from being the best student possible? To be completely open to learn. What's your limiting belief about learning or about something that you are learning? And with this limiting belief comes a cost. If you keep this limiting belief, there's going to be an effect of how this learning will be able to be applied, or how you'll be able to apply this learning. So what is the cost of that limiting belief? And if you don't like that cost, if you're not willing to continue forward with that limiting belief, you can give yourself permission to choose a new belief and open up a new way to learn. And if you're ready to give yourself permission to choose a new belief, say yes. And if you are ready to make those changes, to choose a new belief, hopefully you all said yes audibly to yourself. If you're ready for that, then now it's time to go ahead and choose those new beliefs. 2 or 3 new beliefs that will take the place of that old limiting belief, will allow you to step past it and to step fully into student mode, being completely open, ready to learn, and to allow the uncomfortableness of not knowing everything. Just be okay with that. And to new beliefs that will allow you to step beyond not knowing into mastery of this subject. So choose words that not only get you past your fear, but project yourself forward to where you are graduating with honors, where you know this subject inside and out, and you're ready to put all of this knowledge into action, to be able to utilize it for good for yourself and for other people. Choose some new beliefs that will put you forward into having already received this knowledge, and now you're actually able to use it for good. To learn by practical experience rather than just knowing. And as you're seeing yourself acting on this knowledge, creating practical experience, starting to gather evidence, just be aware of the one most important physical action that you can take on this knowledge. What is your inspired shortcut today to applying the knowledge that you're learning, the divine intelligence that you're gaining? What is your inspired shortcut today to put this new knowledge into action? In a moment, I'm going to open it up for some shares. And while you're just considering if you are going to be sharing, you're kind of getting your thoughts together so that you can share. I want to invite anyone who would like to have a conversation with me to go to askwylene.com, and you can schedule a 15-minute call with me. And if you are truly in student mode, we will definitely create something amazing on that 15-minute call. Every single one of those calls that I've done has turned into just a really powerful turning point for the people who choose to have that conversation with me. And all you have to do is just go to askwylene.com, and that will take you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute free mentoring session with me. Who has something that they would like to share about their experience today?
I'll share.
Thanks, Tammy.
So my limiting belief was that I don't know how to get out of debt, and the cost was frustration and confusion, and lose focus on my mission and purpose, which is most important. I only have one new belief so far, but I am solely focused on my mission and purpose, and all my debts, temporal and spiritual, are resolved in the best way. And my shortcut is to know that it's true.
Awesome. Sounds like, have you listened to the post that I made in the Lord's Way to Wealth Mastermind group?
I have. It came at the perfect time.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else like to share?
I'll share.
Thanks, Melinda.
This is kind of new for me, but my limiting belief, it started out with like not a very good mom, and I thought what you were saying was if you couldn't figure out the why, go deeper, and went to, not a very good wife. Causes was the need of perfection. So my new belief is I am an ever-learning mother who is always open to being aware of my mistakes and turn them into the miracles of my life and the lives of others. And I didn't make it to the shortcut.
Okay, just take a moment right now. I'm just going to allow you to have that time right now. Just take a deep breath. Focusing on that new belief and seeing yourself stepping fully into that energy of, who you are right now and who you're becoming. What is the one most important thing that you could do today to gain evidence and feel confident in your new belief?
As I walked through that wall that was there, the thing that kept coming to my mind was patience. So just enjoying the journey, I guess, enjoying the moment.
Enjoy the moment with patience. That's the only thing you have to do today. Enjoy the moment with patience.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rachel, you're on the call today. I would love to have you reach out to Melinda, because I know you've had some awesome experiences in that same way. I think you guys could have a great conversation. Would you be willing to do that?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. Yep.
Thanks, Rachel. Did you have something else you wanted to share?
Oh, I was just thinking, I don't know her number, but I can ask you for it.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate this call. I appreciate the connections that we create here. We're all in student mode. We're all learning. We're all growing, and super grateful to have a place here on this call where everybody can feel like they can share authentically, what they're really feeling. And you're not the only one. So it's just a beautiful place for us to be able to, a community for us to love each other, to support each other, and just to feel like every single day is we're one step closer to being perfect and being the type of person that can feel confident in God's presence. So thank you all. We'll look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you all for being here. Love you.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. We'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.